Hello, 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 and welcome to the latest installment of And Sarah Appeared. My name is Sarah, and I'm appearing before you today. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Go Eagles, because we Eagle fans, even though I'm West Coast, Best Coast, I love my Midwest and my East Coast teams. I'm actually like a good majority of my family is from the Midwest and the East Coast. So even though like we're like the only generation both sides that are like really on the West Coast. I don't know. It's weird how that happened, but like yeah, I don't know. Anything East Coast, Eagles have been a staple in my household for some years, and my sister is the Eagles fan. It's not even like my whole team or whatever, but my sister is the fantasy football fanatic. She keeps score. She has different teams. My brothers, they also love fantasy football and everything to go along with football. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm the cook. I make the hot wings, the chicken wings. I make the dips. I make, whatever it is that I can make that comes to my mind, and I serve it up. And everybody goes crazy and loves it. But yeah, like I just wanted to get that out the way. And usually Super Bowl Sunday is on like February the 5th. Usually it's always like on the 5th of February. And the reason why I know that is because my little cousin, that's usually we celebrate her birthday on Super Bowl Sunday. So, anyways, but I say that to say this. I honestly had to reflect, and I had to sit back and examine myself. And I think it's important to examine yourself because we don't always get it right. And I think it's a dangerous thing to believe that you're so saved or you have so much of the Holy Spirit in you that you would not be capable of doing something that you were once delivered from, or not be capable of doing something that maybe your flesh has never even encountered before. Um, I I have to shift gears from operating out of my own strength into operating into the grace of God, which should be something as simple as ABC 1 2 3. But for me, somebody who I'm still figuring out how I'm wired and like how I'm put together, because if you're somebody like me where maybe your background was a little more traditional and you were not allowed to express all the full totality of your emotions because it's do as you're told, and your opinion or your emotions doesn't matter, what I say goes. And there is an importance to that type of home training, because I believe that you cannot allow your emotions to dictate your duties, what it is that you have to do in life. And so I grew up like that, which could also breed a very stoic like behavior. So I grew up like that, and having that perspective kind of put into you that you're going to do as you're told, and anything that you feel about it doesn't matter because you just do as you're told. When you start to come out of that and you start to develop in other areas, and also back it up, that kind of do as you're told um, home training paired with, I would say, being naive and isolated in your own capsule of community will really be kind of like a forerunner. And that's without putting blame on anyone. You notice I can honestly unpack the layers of the origins of my emotions, and discovering them, dealing with them, and kind of diving into my emotions. I'm dealing with the origins of it, but I'm able to do this in a way where I'm not passing the blame on my parentals, on my parents, and I'm not passing the blame on anyone that was external to me. I'm just kind of examining the emotions and examining what I have interpreted what happened. And I think for me, that's a growth point. So big ups yourself, because this is growth. You're able to unpack and conceptualize and observe your emotions, but you don't need to implement any kind of blame or responsibility of those emotions to anything or anybody outside of you. So we're taking full accountability here, okay? So thank you, accountability partners. But taking full accountability over understanding how I could get to the point of being stoic, which in itself, and it's not real stoicism. It's a brooding of emotions that are being suppressed. So I said all that to say this: my background taught me how to suppress emotions that I should have had the liberty of clearly exploring, because those emotions, exploring them, observing them, and going through them caused for character development. And so when you're not able to express your emotions, instead of having character development, you got the arrested development. So with that being said, once you come to the understanding of where you are with your emotions and how it's been where you haven't been able to, or you've incorrectly, expressed something, once you get past all of that wordplay, then the next part is discerning whether the emotions that you have are valid to respond to. So I'm just going with the fact that for me, a personal belief is all emotions are valid, but not every emotion deserves my attention. And the ones that do deserve my attention go in two categories: observe and release, or observe, think, and respond. And that's just what I'm doing for myself. Recently, I had an emotion where the outcome was observe, think, and respond. And part of the thinking process was pulling away or pulling back my emotions out of the situation so I can analyze what's going on with me. Because I noticed that silently I wasn't responding to life in the same way. It wasn't that I was being erratic or all over the place. There was a stillness and a quietness, and it was like I was secretly searching for something that was off or something that was wrong. I wanted to make sure that I was understanding where I was at in my emotions. I was doing a self check-in. And I think that is so important, to check in with yourself. And for me, the self check-in looked like being quiet, getting still, and then pulling my emotion back so that I can make sure that, one, my intentions are still the same, and two, my emotions are not clouding my judgment and making me react in such a way where it expends everything that I have, all of my, love, all of my emotion, passion, energy. I never want to be in a space where I am wasting what I have. I never want to be in a space where the passion that I have to pour out is being wasted. The passion is on the floor. I don't want to be in that space, because it really does suck when you know that you come from pure intentions, and it's like your time, your hopes, your faith. You don't want to take another hit to that. So you go in and you trust blindly, but at some point, where I messed up, and this might be for you too, but where I have messed up is forgetting to check in with myself so that I can recalibrate what my main goal and focus and intention of whatever I'm putting an ounce of my emotions into. Recalibrate what's the goal, what's the intention, and do goals and intentions, you know, relationship wise, need to change based off of what has gone on and what has happened. What is the measuring stick for this? Is this something, if something comes up that charges my intention more than usual, is this something that needs to be addressed? Or is this something where I need to take it back to the vault and check myself? That's where I'm at. I'm trying to go from trauma induced to tranquility. And for me, the process is unpacking and sitting with it in such a way that nothing else can come and influence except for the Holy Spirit. I don't know. That's just where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at right now. I really, really, really am being serious about obtaining and executing wisdom. And that causes me to take my time and look and see, what am I doing? Because I'm learning things like from scratch, brand new, real bad, learning from scratch, so if you're like me and you're learning from scratch, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, kombucha is saving me. But if you're like me and you're learning from scratch and you really don't know what to do or how to start with unpacking your feelings because you're really not good with emotions, or maybe you're someone who you're on the spectrum and you don't really process emotions the same way that other people do, you're not alone. We're in this together. Christ loves you. I think you're pretty cool, and hopefully this makes your journey a little bit better. Bye for now.